The following is a presentation of the Matt Talk Podcast Network.
You've always got time for Short Time.
Hey, it's Mario Lopez.
David Taylor.
Brent Metcalf. Johnny Hendricks. Tony Ramos. Bubba J.
Mike Golick.
Matthew Modine. The one and only Chael Sonnen. And you are listening to the one and only Short Time Wrestling Podcast by the often imitated and never duplicated Jason Bryant.
What is that move called?
Oh, the Strangler.
Okay.
So strong.
All right, let's just do the episode here. I'm not sure what episode number we're at. It's the Short Time Wrestling Podcast from Fargo, North Dakota. Jason Bryant here with you, joined by an esteemed dais of esteemed, I said esteemed twice, a lot of good, cool people here. Taylor Miller is to my left, along with Richard Immel of USA Wrestling. Taylor's on her first week on the job. She's probably not going to speak just because we're going to control the mics here. But Taylor's here. Richard Immel is here. The most frequently occurring guest on the Short Time Wrestling Podcast. We have Andy Hamilton, wrestling journalist extraordinaire. Nick Simmons is piping in here as well. And our man, Shane Sparks from Track Wrestling and the Big Ten Network. And we've got a lot of fun here. It's Fargo. We're herding horns, owned by wrestlers. We had good beer, good drink, good food. First of all, Shane, the food's been great, man.
Food has been great here. Phenomenal wings. Best wings I've ever had. That's a bold statement, but I mean it. Great wings here.
Hey.
Phenomenal wings. You had the chicken tacos that were great.
And the new kids on the block just walked in the door.
Right now.
Phenomenal music here tonight. We've heard Men at Work, some Steve Winwood.
We've had some
and
Toto.
now, I'd never admit it back in '89 with the stonewashed jeans, but now
Right
Toto as well.
Stuff.
Right Stuff, New Kids on the Block. Would you pay to see these guys? If they came to...
No.
I
No.
would. I would.
No. I would pay to see Weird Al do the parody of this. Anyway.
That is great. That is actually really... I would love to see that, too.
You would love to see the Weird Al version called The White Stuff, which was about Oreos, off of Weird Al's release from 1991 called Off the Deep End, where Al is mocking Nirvana. I am a huge Weird Al Yankovic fan. Oh, and found out today on Twitter, 27 years ago today, UHF was released. The movie starring Weird Al Yankovic, sponsored by Spatula City.
He's going to be here in Fargo. Was at a place last night and saw a...
What? Hold on. I got to look this up. We're already off the rails on this show, folks. We're going to talk about wrestling eventually. But
Yeah, Weird Al's coming to Fargo soon.
We got all night, though.
although, what just came up on my time hop was the 7 years ago, there's a picture of Kendrick Sanders launching Wisconsin's Calvin York.
I remember that one. That was the year the Wisconsin cadet team, I believe, won the national title. Guys like Alex Dieringer leading the charge. I believe Wisconsin won it.
Yeah.
Believe they did. I could
think
be
I'm in
wrong
the
there. But
the reason this is showing up is because I think somebody tagged me in this because I'm in the background. But
Shane's
anyway.
just saying that because he lives in Wisconsin.
well, Calvin York was phenomenal. Calvin York wrestled at Wisconsin. I believe he's got a job now in Iowa, big-time hunter. But Sanders launched him a couple of times.
Yeah. Hey, look at what we got here. Look at this guy.
Oh, my God.
As Simmons is here, Roger Chandler just walked into the building. He's going to go take a leak. And trust me, I've only had one beer, so I got to say they're pretty powerful here at Hurtin' Horns. In the middle of an Oreo. That's The White Stuff by Weird Al. Oh, man. NKOTB.
I got to feel the strangle.
Okay, what? Okay, you're...
What does that mean? What does that mean?
So Nick Simmons came over here.
Right.
And I've always said it, in wrestling, there'd be certain things I'd like to feel if I knew I wouldn't get hurt. One of them would be Andrew.
Whoa, easy. Let's see. Be careful where you go with that one.
Can we sign something so that
One of
Triggity
them-
don't want to sue me?
Jeff Harrison asked you to sign a release back with the Wrestling Recap years ago, and you stole his wallet.
Damn straight.
One of them would be Andrew Howe's hands.
Yeah, don't.
I'd like
Yeah,
to
I
feel
don't wanna
his
feel
hands.
that either.
No way. No way.
Jordan Burroughs double.
Nope.
And another one
Shane,
is Nick Simmons, the strangle
I
from
think
Nick
Shane
Simmons.
has the death wish.
I don't want to.
I had the idea of wanting to wear like the GoPro body pack and like get Jordan Burroughs to double me when I worked at USA Wrestling.
like terrible
But
idea.
I left, thankfully, before I actually that idea came to fruition because Burroughs was actually for it. I just didn't want to get have him get hurt by crashing into somebody twice his size.
Give it to me at about 50% strength.
I don't know what 50% is.
How many guys?
You know,
choke
no
out
one will
with
run.
it? If you
I
had to
don't choke
guess.
anybody out. They choke themselves out.
Everything he's done is
Shane
illegal.
might not be with us the rest of the night, folks.
All right.
You want the real version?
Here lies.
Get the video.
I just
Oh, yeah, we gotta get this.
Seriously, I just can't afford to get hurt.
I don't hurt people anymore.
Okay.
I'm too old for that. That's why I retired.
Somebody Facebook Live this.
Oh, I should.
All right.
We'll get the good one. Right here. Where we go right in here. Tapped out there.
Absolutely would have tapped out. That's strong.
Quite strong. Quite strong.
Man,
How focused,
that is
how
not a position
energized
I would not want to be in.
were you there, Nick?
Good
How,
stuff, Nick.
I mean, you got to be strong. You got to be focused. You got to be energized for something like that.
It's fun. Ask Schultz. It's fun.
Shane did not qualify.
That was
He
tight.
did not qualify. Did
for
not
that.
qualify.
It was fun. I think my son's learning it right now. That's all he does is walk around my head.
So we got some wrestling to talk about, I guess. I don't know, what time is it? It's Thursday.
We're in Fargo. Time stands still.
Time stands still. Time.
Yes, Richard.
Time's. Well, Richard's been standing still all day because
I don't even think he knows what 1 + 1 is right now.
Richard jacked up his ankle trying to wrestle. That's why he's standing still.
Let's leave that alone. That's not for public knowledge, okay?
Well, this is the only time I'm actually having a beer, and I am on the record. So let's use that for all it's worth.
You're not having a beer. It's already gone. Don't lie.
I'm waiting for the guy to show up. Have me another tall one here. Because Hurtin' Hordes has been the one of the new homes. I've had to add it.
Joint. I like it here.
I've had to add it in the rotation with the B-dubs and the turf, and their AC and taps actually work tonight. Anyway, Richard, let's start with you. Let's your opinions on the action so far. You've had to write a bunch of stuff and type a lot of bios and do a lot of social and work on new Snapchat filters and
The Snapchat
basically you've
was
been the
fun.
boss here because there's been no Gary. It's just you and Taylor. You know the rookie has got trial by fire here.
Yep.
Let's talk about the wrestling a little bit in Fargo.
Good luck.
It's a number of years here for you.
Wrestling in Fargo has been awesome. Taylor's been awesome. I'm trying to...
Even though she's a Cowboy and you're a Sooner, you've got Bedlam here on the staff now.
Thanks. The Bedlam jump.
Can we see that on the stage tomorrow?
Bedlam?
Yeah, with you two.
Yeah. Yeah, we can hook that up. For sure. Absolutely.
Their team name is now Bedlam. It's just...
Which
Bedlam.
I'm not... we need to put it to a
Your boss
Twitter
is a
poll or
terrier. He has no voice in the matter.
something. Gary the Terrier. No, Fargo's been great. I haven't watched as much as I normally do because I've been Gary this week. So Taylor's been killing it with the stories. She's done most of the stories. I've done the juniors. So looking at the juniors, I mean, today was pretty... Junior Freestyle Day was pretty straightforward.
No major upsets.
No major upsets. I think 11 Greco champs are in the round of 16. You got 4 world team members, cadet and juniors, going in the round of 16. You've got 3 defending champs in the round of 16. So it's pretty loaded. We haven't seen the big matchups in juniors yet. Cadet semis were pretty good, though. I like...
they were really good.
The Kansas kid...
Kelzer. Jace Kelzer, yeah.
Kelzer or Colzer?
Shane, you had him the other night, Kelzer,
Kelzer.
right? Yeah.
Kelzer.
Kid has a phenomenally feathered mullet. Now, Shane,
He does have a nice
you
mullet.
have had the year
Will
of mullet
Brooks
interview.
approve?
How well do you think Sam Brooks would approve of Kelzer? Because, you can't win a Big Ten title in a day, can't grow a great mullet in a day. You can't win a Fargo title in a day.
Exactly.
So, do you think this Kelzer kid has what it takes to eventually be joining you, Sam Brooks style, with the same mullitude?
I'm a little disappointed. I believe on Facebook I saw that Brooks doesn't have the mullet anymore.
No. I got to...
I could be wrong. I saw
believe
a couple
Pull that
pictures
up.
with him. I wasn't
believe
sure if he had the
Pull
mullet,
it
but Kelzer's tough. And he said the story was they've had him
Still
for
looking
like
up
3
the Weird
years.
Al stuff.
So he's a tough kid. But there's only,
He's still a pup, though. He's still a pup. He's a cadet.
well, he's going to have to fluff and feather it. And
Did he have highlights in it, too?
he may have.
Okay. Oh man, Weird Al's coming to Minneapolis, August 19th.
There you go.
I'll be
got
in
your
Rio.
Oh, you will be.
Son of a...
You missed out on that.
Yeah. Chase Nelson
For the
from
Olympics.
North Dakota State kind of joining our panel over here. We got Roger Kish over there. We got Team Maryland was over here earlier.
Travis Pasco.
We got Pasco, your buddy
Rivera's
here.
over there.
Yeah, Manny, the new coach. Well, Manny can't come on the show. He's already been on short time within the last week, so He doesn't count.
We weren't inviting him anyway.
He does not qualify.
I can't tell if he had a cut or not.
Yeah, what is it? Kish said he looked like Bono with all that blue and gold he's wearing.
That's what he told me when I walked up there, too.
All right, we were talking wrestling before we got sidetracked. This is going to be the most off-the-rails show since I had Royce Alger on last week.
Oh, Kelzer. That don't surprise me one bit.
Kelzer, you were saying the young Kansas mullet.
Did you see a semis match?
Yeah.
Picked up the single leg takedown with, I think, 4 seconds left?
Yeah, it was against Heilman from New Jersey, who was wrestling a real strong match. I mean, strong to quite strong. He was focused and energized.
Yeah, definitely.
But Kelzer just came through, Good stuff. What else? Who else impressed you? Jordan Decatur?
That match was awesome. I was telling you before, I was like, watch this match, because it was Therious
Robeson, yeah.
And
Sons of
Jordan
Thunder.
Yeah, Sons of Thunder Academy.
Sons of Thunder, man, they've been everywhere. Their van has been everywhere.
No, what Decatur came out with a nasty fireman's, took him to his back. Therious came out on top, got a couple gut wrenches. They were going back and forth, and Decatur just monstered him. See you, Chase. Anyway,
Chase used to hang out with Immel at OU.
We don't talk about that time. And
used to hang out after he hit you with a mixer, right?
Funny story about
We don't
Chase.
talk about mixers.
Anyways, yeah, Decatur looked awesome.
Notice how you got away from that topic real quick.
Decatur looked really good. Very impressive.
Let's go back to the mixer, Richard.
What?
Let's go back to the mixer.
Colton Schultz.
Mixer? Yep.
Oh, you want to get on me?
No, because I don't talk about mixers.
Unless it's a concrete mixer from
like
Culver's.
That's right. The only time I've been pinned in my life was on a mixer.
What was that? I'm not.
My freshman year in college.
I'm not being stupid.
Chris Rodriguez.
Okay. Oh, wow. It's a friggin' blast from the past.
Only time I was pinned in my life.
Yikes. Chris Rodriguez.
Off the start of the match.
Walker School, Georgia. Spent a minute at Michigan.
No, in a dual meet. I didn't wrestle him at NCAs. It's the only time I ever wrestled him.
That was I haven't heard that name in a while.
Right?
Not since Albany 2002. Oh man! So
that was when he was at North Carolina.
Yeah,
he already transferred from Michigan.
Yeah, there's so Richard. Last thing.
Oh, you know who I loved was the heavyweight, North Dakota. Metz.
Oh, at the juniors, Brandon
that dude
Metz
was a beast.
He's coming here to play football and wrestle.
Well, that's up for debate. I sent Stoops a tweet the other day, so.
How much money have you donated to the Oklahoma Booster Club since you've graduated?
I've donated a little bit.
Therefore, you're a booster. That is an illegal recruiting violation. Therefore, you just put Oklahoma wrestling on probation and football on probation.
I haven't donated to the athletics, just to the college.
I'm going to call shenanigans.
Academic guy.
I'm calling shenanigans.
Yeah.
How about Colton Schultz getting some revenge?
Cody hasn't hit me up yet.
On Tyler Curd today.
Yeah, I teched him.
How about Schultz's afro? This thing is just, what's a kid, 15?
I haven't even seen it yet.
My goodness. It's...
Ashgren style?
Quite good.
Tighter. It's a tighter curl.
Oh, really?
It's I mean...
Impressive. You're impressed right now. I can tell by looking at your face.
I mean, my eyebrows are like just... Yeah. Anyway, we'll move over to Andy Hamilton here. He can jump in. That was... Andy, you've been to Fargo a couple times, but it's been a couple years. I mean, what do you think when you come to this tournament, having covered wrestling in so many different aspects and covering the greatest wrestling arena in sports with Carver Hawkeye and being around such great wrestling? You come to Fargo, you see some great stuff.
Yeah, my head's been spinning since I stepped in the arena yesterday morning. Just so much going on. It's so hard to process, like who's up next, what's going on, what do you got to keep your eye on, but... you can get mesmerized just sitting there watching one mat after another. All the phenomenal action that you see, the top-notch talent that we're just getting to know a little bit on some of these kids, and we'll be hearing from them for a long time yet to come.
And we're interrupted here by a repeat of Look Who's Talking on TBS. Simmons is old enough to get that joke. That's what I love. Immel is the only one in his 20s at this table.
Yeah, I'm
not in my 20s. What's wrong with you?
No,
I wish I was in my 20s.
No, I'm saying he's the only one in his 20s.
Oh, Rich?
Yeah,
he's a baby still.
He's still got a couple years. Taylor has since bailed. Taylor and Chase just said, all right, enough of this. What do you
And, of course, a little bit later on TBS, Roadhouse. Guarantee it.
Hey, I thought you'd be bigger. Not bad for a blind white boy. I thought you'd be bigger.
What was his name? Dalton?
The name. No. The name is Dalton. Pain don't hurt. I mean, just everybody needs a little throat rip out,
man,
And what was that actress's name?
Classic.
She was terrible. She was in Cocktail as well.
The nurse?
Yeah.
I thought the acting was fantastic.
She was.
When I think about Cocktail, I think about Elizabeth Shue.
No,
yes.
that's the. Can I go with another Sam summer ale? We're getting our beer orders here on Short Time. Last year, we got some Long Islands on the show, and the show progressively got more fun.
They were on special.
They were 250 Long Islands, I think.
Can we talk about this buffalo that's above us?
There's a giant.
I'm afraid it's going to fall on me right now.
I mean, because that's a 75-pound head right there. Easy.
Seriously.
If that thing falls, Shane's done.
We've totally gotten off.
We might need a new commentator for the BTN. This guy.
That's not safe for work. We're not quite to the explicit.
anywhere.
We're not quite for the explicit rating yet here on iTunes, but so we were asking Andy a serious question. What? You know what? Let's just bail on the serious questions. This is a great freaking tournament. It's a great freaking town. There's this talk about it moving. I don't want it to move from Fargo for a couple reasons. I wasn't going to drop the F-bomb there for a few different reasons, rather. One, we're sitting at one of them. Two, we're 200 yards from another one of them. Three, there's a giant dome with 23 mats, and nothing in this town moves without wrestling around it. I mean, this place has an identity to this tournament. And we 1,200 entries in junior freestyle. It's growing here. It's virtually crime-free here, except for the thieves inside the dome. We don't need you in our sport. But, overall, Andy, you've been a lot of places. I mean, Fargo's one of the places you haven't been as much as others, but this seems to me, it seems to work here.
Yeah, I first came up here in 2012. This is my second trip. I remember leaving that time hoping I would come back year after year after year, and I just haven't been able to make it work. But when you talk about this tournament, it's identified with the city. I can't imagine what we would call it if it went elsewhere. It just wouldn't seem right coming off the tongue.
I can't wait for Dallas.
I think if it moved to Dallas, you know what they'd call it? Fargo.
Yeah.
Right?
Where's Fargo this year? Dallas.
That's how you know it as.
Exactly.
It's not juniors or cadets, it's Fargo. And that's what matters.
Nick Simmons enjoying things. And you and your brother wrestled here, won a lot of titles here. What is it about when you're a kid coming in here and it's like, yeah, I'm going to Fargo. I mean, win or lose, you get in a situation like this. It's Fargo. It's how many times would you ever come here for anything? But wrestling has put
Just
this
Fargo.
place on the map.
Just for Fargo.
Wrestling and FBS football championship subdivision. Yeah, FCS football.
So much fun. I mean, like you said, it's Fargo. That's how you know. I've never known juniors or cadets. I never wrestled cadets. I went straight juniors. Me and my brother both did, but I've never known it as anything but Fargo. It's just something about it.
What about what it means like to be discovered here? Now you were on the losing end of one of the bigger things that somebody.
I appreciate that.
But you can understand what that.
I might cry myself to sleep tonight.
And I remember writing the headline, Lee lays Greco gold on Fargo. Anyway, but in that situation where you can look back at it now as a coach and realize that moment for athletes, take yourself out of the equation for a moment and go, for what that moment meant for Travis Lee, to put him on. Nobody knew who the heck he was. That put him on the map. I mean, coming here, it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to Reno or something, and during the high school season, okay, dude, he took out one of the best guys in the country and put himself on the map and basically kick-started his career. This place does things like that for people.
Oh, it does, and everyone's so like they want to do all the collegiate duels and all that stuff all the time, which is fine, but stuff like this, like you said, like that match is probably one of the. Besides losing the Olympic trials in 2012, was one of the only matches I really want to take back. And, because it just crushed me. But you need to know how to wrestle all three styles. It don't matter what style you want to freaking, be great at. You need to know how to wrestle all three styles. You want to be a college wrestler, learn how to wrestle freestyle and Greco. Don't just wrestle the collegiate all year round. And this out here, like you said, it brings a lot of character out in kids and stuff, and that you might not know or recognize until they start beating guys, and you're like, that dude's actually going to be pretty dang good. I need to start recruiting that kid. And that's why I keep coming out here myself.
Now, when you're recruiting now, regardless of, you're looking at certain weight classes, and I remember looking at, from my alma mater when Coach Martin at Old Dominion would come out and was looking at a kid. They get a verbal from a kid, coming in, and then some kid would show up and crush that guy. Like, well, it looks like we're recruiting that guy too. I mean, there's this. It was like this domino effect of when you got your eye on a kid and you want to see how he competes in Fargo, and then your eyes are open to somebody you had no idea existed.
Oh yeah, no, it does. Like you said, it brings kids out of the woodwork, and what is there, 3,000 entries here or something?
Actually, there are 4,800 across all 6 styles.
I mean,
that's got to be a record.
A ton of kids, and there's a lot of talent that probably has not been discovered just because they don't maybe do the flow, or they're from a different state that doesn't get a lot of the publicity and stuff like that. But a lot of kids shine, and you're like, that dude's gonna be good. I probably should actually start talking to that kid right now. Whether it's on the front side of the bracket or the back side. Even the back side of the bracket, it shows where a kid's heart and their demeanor and what kind of character they have to come back through in place. If they lose, if they get upset or if they lose first or second round or whatever, to come back through and be an All-American, or to end up third, to win 8 matches in a row, that shows what a kid's really about, too. And you can work with that.
You ever find yourself have a beat on a recruit and you're like, I hope he doesn't do too well? So
coaches do that. Coaches do that. Trust me.
Yeah.
You're like, man, you don't want him. You want him to win, but you're like, man, now everyone's going to be on top of this.
It's going to cost us. It's going to cost us $1,000 for every win he gets. another
that always
thing.
happens, but you're like, hey, man, you're worth it. I'll buck up. Let's do it.
Another thing is, a couple years ago, they went to the vertical pairing, the line bracketing versus the vertical pairing, and there was the allure of.
Well, I never had 2 weigh-ins when I was here. It was always one. It was one.
Well, how fat were you? I mean, normally you were notoriously.
In high school, I only cut weight my sophomore year in high school. When I wrestled 5.5 here in the finals, so it was 5.5
but
for
me. But you kept the chainsaw for senior level events, right?
Oh, I was 125 during the finals.
I remember you were coming back. Where were we at? We were in Turkey. And we're in line at the airport flying back out. I was like, Simmons, what are you weighing, about $145 right now? He goes, yeah, like 20 minutes after weigh-ins.
That was one of the, after Turkey at the World Championships there, that was one of the 2 times in my whole life that I've been over 150.
This is not an endorsement of dropping that much weight, folks. But
I don't normally ever weigh that. It was one of 2 times ever.
Like the line bracketing, it was now where we're at. We have a true semis. We have a true.
Look at these guys. They want me to play bags with them.
What do we got?
Jason Mester wants me to beat him real quick and pool because he was crying last night like a little girl.
Mester from Mineral Point, Wisconsin.
Well, I got Mester over here. Who else is with Mester?
Come over here real quick. I'll get him.
Here comes Mester. I got.
See what I got on my back?
Let's see. No. Come on in. We've already called you out.
We've already
called you out. This is on. It's short time. We get some.
This is short time podcast.
We get some Bloom talk on here. And Shane's already thrown you under the bus, telling people you're from Wisconsin.
And I already told him you cried all night playing pool last night. So
yeah, I went 2-0 against you, so I wasn't crying that hard.
Shane, who are we? We were beating Humphrey in pool up in Olympic trials, but. Anyway, we're talking, and Jesse, as you're coming in, we're talking about the impact of this tournament, and when you're a coach and you're seeing a kid, and you're kind of like, yeah, I got to beat on this kid, and you don't want him to win too much, so you can get save some scholarship money sometimes. But what's the mindset here? You're coming from a program like Bloomsburg, which is a Division II school in everything but wrestling, and the great wrestling tradition, but you've got to rebuild some things. And what does this tournament mean for you and your program when you got to pull guys off? You got a great base to draw from in Pennsylvania, but you come here, this is the undiscovered country. I mean, where's this rank on your recruiting radar for bringing kids into Bloom?
I mean, it's near the top. I mean, obviously it's one of the best tournaments in the country, so you got to get in there, and you can't take, like you said, we're looking for a certain guy, but I mean, everyone's looking for a certain guy, and the guys that are here, you're looking for guys with the best character that want to be the best at this sport. So what better place can you do it at is here? I mean, there's nothing you can do.
we were talking about what this tournament means to wrestling. It's called Fargo. There's talk about it moving. I mean, what would you think as a coach to be like, man, can you imagine going anyplace else for this thing?
No, it's been here so long. I mean, it's tradition. It's a lot of fun, and I think it's hit the whole wrestling community. It's been. I mean, how long has it been here? I mean, as long as I've been around.
Juniors came here in '93. I think the cadets followed in '96 combined. Yeah, I mean, I think they put it together because it was the staffing because of the Olympic year in Atlanta. They couldn't run 2 events plus the Olympics. I think that's why they put them together. Roger Kish is trying to pull our guests over.
Hey, Roger Kish, come over here real quick.
No.
Yeah.
You never hear those words here.
Yeah. Well, you don't hear it at the turf, that's for sure. This place is still new. But actually, let's give Steve Saxon some props here. Herd and Horns, this first time you've been in here, or you've been here a couple times this week?
No, it's the first time I've been in here.
Yeah, new place. Giving us some options. Owned by wrestlers. Couple 3-time champs, Todd Fuller and Steve Saxon, who
it's amazing.
Mean a lot to this community. But
great guys.
Fantastic guys. As Shane's wearing a 3-time gear hat and a Herd and Horns shirt.
Hey, we got the Resolite guys in here. Why don't you interview them?
Where are they at?
Right there. Paul Gilbert's right there.
Yeah, we can get Paul Gilbert over here.
Come here.
Plus, this is the way to
interview everybody.
See, we get some
tournament in the country.
I like how now you're trying to swing some sponsorship money my way. I like where your head's at. I will gladly be sponsored by Resolite. I liked Resolite mats. I hated moving them, but I like them.
You're on the radio. Sit down.
On the radio.
Paul Gilbert, have a seat, my friend. This is the short.
Right now.
Paul Gilbert, pride of Sunbury, Pennsylvania.
How did you know that?
I lived in the 717 for a couple years.
No way.
I lived in Lancaster. I got stuck at Bloom one year, the EWLs. I got snowed in, and then trying to take 11.
Like a day in heaven.
Oh yeah, well, I had spent earlier part of the day in Bucknell, and then earlier in Ryder. But Paul, you've been a great supporter of wrestling. You've got a great product. I always said that when I competed, I got my head beat in. I would prefer to have been on a Resolite mat because it just something about when my face landed, it just felt like ow, it hurt. I dislocated my jaw. I don't know how many times, but Resolite's involvement in wrestling has been great over the years. And when we come to this tournament like Fargo, I mean. This is kind of those things in your county. You're like, all right, here's the booth, and you've got so many thousands of people walking through it. What's it mean to you to be here?
Oh, it's just incredible to see all the wrestlers. It's exciting, and we've got a bunch of new products that we're displaying, and it's incredible. I mean, it's the biggest tournament for high school wrestlers. It's insane. It's great.
And we see a lot of you're obviously moving and shaking, trying to make deals, and everybody's going to need mats. But when you get down and you actually get a chance to see the wrestling, you get to see kids before they are discovered. What do you think it just means to you as a wrestling fan? Be like, man, I got to see some of these kids before they were winning NCAA and Olympic titles.
I just think of the values it installs into the kids. I mean, that work ethic, the practice, the camaraderie. It's just great. It's great.
Now, we were talking about Fargo. I think we're all kind of endorsing the idea to keep this thing in Fargo. What do you like about this town?
Fargo?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Fargo?
I can say right now.
Fargo?
Well, who would do that? Who would do such a thing?
No.
Is that a true statement?
They're talking about moving it?
Well,
it's just, Fargo does it so well. Where it used to be, what, Northern Iowa? Is that where it went?
It started, it's juniors, it started in Iowa City. Then it went to UNI for a number of years. Then it moved a couple places. Then cadets started. They moved a couple places. Then they came together in Fargo in 96. So that's the timeline.
I know. They just do it so well. They're so organized.
It's clean.
It's clean. The kids are organized here.
The only drawback, I think, though, is if you're staying in the dorms that don't have AC, some of these winters, some of the winters got to suck, but the winters, yeah.
You got to toughen up.
Yeah.
You got to toughen up. You're here to wrestle.
When I first year out here, I lost probably...
go on vacation.
I lost 15 pounds. I lost 15 pounds my first summer here, and I wasn't even competing. I was a media guy. That was just going to the bathroom. That was bad. Those places. That was the sauna. But anyway, Paul, we're gonna let you get back to having some fun. Thanks for jumping on. And
hey, thank you. It's been fun. It's been fun. It's fun to be in Fargo. It's great to be part of the event. It's wonderful. And thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll be in touch. And remember, if you're ever in central Pennsylvania,
please
heading up 11 from Harrisburg.
Wow,
on your way to State College for a Penn State duel, you can stop right in.
Please.
If you're hanging out at Bucknell,
we always love people to come into the factory to tour it, to see how we make the mats. So we love wrestling people coming in. So if anybody's in the area, please stop in, and we'll be glad to take you on a tour.
All right, sounds good, Paul. Thanks for popping in. We've kind of pulled you out of there, but hey, all right. So Richard, you've been quiet for a while. Anything to add?
Well, I've just been looking at Simmons and how good
that's scary.
How good he looks right now. That's what I'm looking at.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You look good.
My wife thinks so too.
Yeah, she thinks
I
look
have to bring
good.
that up with her.
Andy's been smart. He kind of got away from the microphone.
Yeah, he's away.
I noticed how Nick Simmons is like, oh yeah, I heard about you're doing a podcast. He's just been standing over here waiting for us to start this.
Oh yeah, that's what I was.
Did you just raise your hand?
I did. I was telling Andy on the way over here.
How old are you, Beavis?
With Nick, as far as liking these podcasts, this is back in,
oh my God,
maybe 2000. I mean, when is that, Nick? This is a while back.
Yeah, that's when I was in college. What, 2004?
Okay, so we're talking about a dozen years ago. At the time when I worked at a radio station, Scott Cleaver, the tournament director of the Chiefs at Kaukauna, Wisconsin, we did a wrestling radio show. And our go-to guy was Nick Simmons for Michigan. I mean, it was every week. Let's head it over to East Lansing where Nick Simmons joins us. We must have had Nick Simmons on at least 4 or 5 times a year. Nick Simmons was without a doubt the most popular non-Wisconsin Badger wrestler that we liked.
I appreciate that.
When
I first was doing it with you, I'm like, they're like, this guy's going to call you. I'm like, who? And I'm on it.
Why do you want to Michigan?
Yeah. He's
not even a Youper. He's not even like a cousin.
And then you and I...
Exactly. I like how you pulled the Youper out of that.
And then when you made that world team, before we're doing the interview, we're like, can you believe this? This is kind of crazy. From 10 years ago on a little radio show, here we are doing the world team trial championship interview.
That's one of the, outside of, being at Michigan State and stuff, that's one of the more memorable things I remember, too, and I really appreciate the opportunity and stuff. And the opportunity now to sit here and chat with you guys and answer questions and BS.
You can say bullshit on my show. It's cool, man.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, it's not until you get into the Effenheimer range that I have to put the explicit tag.
No, I'm good
on it. But I don't know what else we're about half an hour in here. Shane, you've been coming out here for a number of years. You've had the opportunity to interview the next generation of studs on the men's and women's side. And when you first started doing those champion interviews, the finals interviews that are on the big screen, giving them the first class treatment, was there ever a kid you sat down and you thought about when you first started, like, that guy or girl is going to be something special, and then boom, here it is a couple years later, they're what you thought they would be?
The one guy that stands out more than anybody, 2 guys I would say. Number 1, I would say Zane Richards.
Right.
I mean, Zane Richards I think he's the best interview that I've ever done out here, because he's so passionate, so energetic, very knowledgeable on the sport. He'll be breaking down wrestling as an analyst someday. And I would say another guy that really stands out is Jaden Cox. His maturity, his charisma, how polite he is. It's I think one thing that's a lot of fun for me is when they win their matches, they come down by me in that mix zone, and I get about 2 to 3 minutes with them. And it's amazing what you can learn from somebody in 2 to 3 minutes, a short time, no pun intended.
Woo-hoo!
But, you get to loosen them up a little bit, find some things out about them.
Hashtag pun intended if you're listening at home. Hashtag pun intended.
But it's a lot of fun. I remember that new one from Justin Timberlake, Can't Beat This.
Shut up.
That's what I was going to say. Can we start karaoke?
Oh. Richard?
Tashkent?
Wait a minute, Nick.
Are we going there?
Wait a minute. Karaoke. You were there the night when. Okay, let's get a side story here. So, been coming here for 18 years.
Sam Adams.
And there used to be a deal where the bars in North Dakota would close at 1. So last call at 12:45.
Everyone went to Barhead afterwards.
So I drove out a couple years. I had my truck, and we'd all pile into my '89 Bronco 2 with over 200,000 miles on it. We drive to Moorhead, all of 3 miles away, and go to either Coach's or Chumley's. Yeah. One night we end up at Chumley's. I think somebody got stabbed there that night. No, I'm just kidding. It's kind of a sketchy place, but I don't think it's that sketchy.
That was the Turf.
No. I've never seen anybody get stabbed on purpose at the Turf. So I remember it because they were singing. They had karaoke that night. And this place was big. It was busy. I would never advise going number 2 there. But anyway, so I see people. There's wrestling people over there. I remember getting up and singing my karaoke go-to jam, Chocolate Salty Balls by Chef.
Oh, Jesus.
And here's the thing. Nick Simmons was standing right there when I was singing it. I remember that.
You sing this every time.
And then Brian Keck is doubled over laughing so hard because here's me. I mean, this is before I was like, podcast host, whatever. I was still kind of under the radar, Team Virginia-ish, Intermat. I don't even know if I was with Intermat yet, but yeah.
Jason, I'm going to interrupt you.
Yeah.
This is the guy you need to talk to about Fargo now. The freaking head coach over here.
Yeah, we've had Kish on. We had Kish on last year. It's time for him to come on in because you've lost. Roger, sit down. I got to ask you a question.
Yeah. One question, he says. You got to pay for the second.
What do you think? What?
My wife to get home to.
What?
No, that's
I haven't stayed out till 10:30 in a long time.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I would say that, but never mind. But so, how many times are you getting sick of conducting interviews? You keep losing your assistant coaches to other jobs. That means you are a great mentor of men. You have already in your short career. How many people have gone on to bigger and better things? You've got how many? You got head coaches everywhere. You're elevated. I mean, this is a farm system for great coaches. North Dakota State.
No, I hear you. That. What do you say, man? It's a great place. Guys come here. They love it up here. Fargo's a great place. Anyone who's been up here, and they you learn to appreciate that. And when you love being in a place so much, it's great. You take it and run with it. You learn the ins and outs. And take a guy like a Manny Rivera. Not only is
Manny's starting to creep.
Think of the guy now. He's
no, he doesn't get to be on. He's already been on.
He's coming up now.
He's already been on once this year.
Yeah, he's already been on. He's had enough air time. But we talk about this all the time, and him and I have had such a great relationship. Him and I were 17 and 18 years old when we joined each other at the University of Minnesota. And
say that again. Say Minnesota again.
Minnesota.
Okay, you've been out here long enough.
Yeah.
He held the O. He held the O.
What will you miss most about Manny?
Well, I tell you what,
his wonderful teeth.
Yeah, great smile, man.
He's got a great. Look at those chompers, man. He's got a great smile.
We'll let him get on here in a minute, but I think really it's we've had such a great friendship. We were college teammates and roommates, and when I first took over here, there was only one guy I wanted to join me, and it was Manny Rivera. And not only are we colleagues now, but best friends along the way. And so when this transition happened, it was something that we planned for, something that we worked together doing, and we're just as a friend to his, a good friend, we're just super proud and happy of where he's going and getting closer to home and his family. And I think that's just a great thing for him, and it's a great thing for North Dakota State too. It's we lose a great guy, and it's a little bittersweet, but it at the end of the day, it gives us opportunities, opens more doors for us. But as far as Coach Rivera and I go, he's we're still going to be best friends here for many years to come, and the respect we got for one another is going to stay strong, and we're going to look forward to competing against each other now as coaches and in this profession. And at the end of the day, it's just wrestling, and we're going to be able to shake hands and come out here and be able to.
Bring in the herds and horns.
Yeah. Come out and visit, and I don't.
You're just happy that you can now. You can now say, "Hey, I can justify a trip to California."
That's right. It's in the middle of the desert. It's really hot out there.
I mean, if you like snow,
but he's a California guy.
Now the recruiting pitch is like we've been pulling. Now it's a battle for recruits. You be like, hey, now you're the California kids that Manny's bringing out here. You're like, oh crap, how do I
know.
How do I stop that?
That's right. He's got a direct.
Do you really like snow? Well, I've got a place for you.
And that's what we talked about. He was telling me here just this week that he's been out there. He says it hasn't been less than 110 degrees out in California this last week. So. It's just a different lifestyle and atmosphere. And I know he's looking at me right now.
You want like snow or do you want to melt?
And here we go.
Vegas, it's not quite like Edinburgh where you can ice fish 13 months out of the year. Sorry, with my apologies to Tim Flynn.
You learn things from everybody you coach with. What did you take away from him that you'll put in your arsenal?
I think that's put me on the spot here.
On the spot,
especially
now.
Next to you.
I know.
You will answer it now, and you will like it.
I tell you what, his approach to coaching and his style and how he handles student athletes as a coach and as a mentor. You can take things away from everybody, and just the amount of respect that he demands from our student athletes, and the amount of respect that he gets is phenomenal. And he walks into the practice room, and guys know they got that respect for him, and just learning, watching how he handles himself along the way, and it's really just that process of meeting kids and getting to know them throughout the recruiting process, to getting into your program, to really being in a hunt trying to chase down a national title or getting on the podium or whatever the dream is. And so that's just something that's really inspiring for any coach to see, and something you can take away from this man. So it's something that I learned from. So yeah, good question.
All right, so now Roger's lips have been removed from Manny's backside. No, I'm just kidding. we're in a more laid-back atmosphere, and Manny's been on. Manny was on the show
Eddie
last
Money.
week.
The music in this place is.
Problem is, I hope I don't get knocked off of iTunes because this is copyrighted music. I'm not playing it on purpose, so please don't take us down.
Saw Eddie Money a few weeks back. Eddie Money and the 40th
like crap.
The 40th anniversary for Boston.
How old are you people?
Eddie Money.
Richard again is the only guy.
The only guy that's 18 years old at this table.
Don't tell the management. I'm good.
No. He's actually of age. We don't want to have another fake IDs taken this weekend.
I tell you what. What do you guys think of the place? The Herd and Horns, man. What a great place.
I've eaten the chicken tacos 3 times.
They're awesome.
The social they had here the other night with 3 times beer.
The white chilies you can't miss, and the wings.
Yeah, and I also want to ask Roger this, and even Manny can probably talk about this, about the community here. And I asked, we did an interview with Steve from this very booth the beginning of the week on one of the previous episodes of Short Time. Steve is a 3-time national champion here at North Dakota State when it was a Division II school, with a legendary coach in Bucky Mon. Another co-owner's Todd Fuller, another 3-time national champion here, hence the name of their company, 3 Times Gear. As the wrestling coach coming in, what's it mean to you to have a guy like Steve and Todd, or guys like Steve and Todd, that give so much of themselves to the city of Fargo and have such a great relationship with the fantastic football program here and the atmosphere? I mean, wrestling and football seem to really have a symbiotic relationship in terms of their boosters. I mean, what does that mean to have that type of alumni base?
And I think you kind of you said it there. It's not just wrestling and football and the ties that they have together with one another, but it's really the community, and in all the sports they do a good job at coming together and supporting its athletic department here. You get North Dakota, you get a large part of South Dakota and all of western Minnesota, and you get
you said it again.
Minnesota, you like that. But it's a great community, and anyone who's been up here and who's been to a wrestling match or a football game or just an athletic event up here, you see the community come out in full support, and they really appreciate their athletics here, and you're not going to find a more prideful community than you will right up here in Fargo. And they'll they'll really challenge any community out there when it comes to their support with its athletics. So we're just really blessed to have those people around us, around our community. Take guys like Fuller and Steve Saxland, who do so much with 3-time gear, and they seem to have their hands into a lot of different things, and just the things they're willing to do for our community and our athletic program is phenomenal, and we're certainly grateful. We're grateful that they're a part of it, and more importantly that they're wrestling alumni first, and supporters of Bison Wrestling, and it goes a long way for our program.
Now, I do got to ask. I was out here because I've got a show with Virginia Tech on the Matt Talk Podcast Network. Came out here in November for a dual meet when Virginia Tech was in town, and the facility you guys competed in, a small gym that had some real character. Is that when the Bison Center gets completed? Are you guys going to move back in the Bison Center? Or are you going to stay in that smaller gym? Because I saw a dual meet there, and I was like, this is a place to watch wrestling.
Sure. Yeah, the Benson Bunker is a phenomenal event. We were able to pack the house and make some noise, and again our community comes out and supports us. So yeah, we'll certainly share some events over at the Benson Bunker and share with the new arena, who seats a little bit bigger of a venue for some of the bigger duels as we push into the Big 12, and we'll see some different programs make stops up here in Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah, because I love coming out here. And one thing part of me, we were getting back to the Fargo conversation about one, personally, I live in Minnesota now, so I love the fact that I don't need a GPS when I come here, because it's 6 turns from the turf, the dome, and Herd and Horns from my house. 3 to get on the interstate and 3 when I get off. About 3 hours and 15 minutes once I clear Maple Grove traffic. But we get here, and to come to Dual, I'm like, man, now that I know how quick that drive is, I've gone to Carver a couple times, I've gone down to Ames a couple times, I'm like, hey, I might have to come to Fargo a few more dual meets. That looks good on my schedule. Looks good on my schedule. Richard, do you have anything for Roger here? Because, you've been coming here a couple years. You know a little bit about the sport. And Shane's already talked too much. It's my freaking show.
I haven't talked enough. That's my bad. I'm
Bonus Points Podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Bonus Points.
He has the longest wrestling podcasts ever, and he says he doesn't talk so much.
What? Come on.
Kenny Monday was like 2 hours.
Slay was 2.5.
I had Alger for 2 hours.
Okay, you had Alger.
Pretty good.
No. What's best about running Fargo? What do you love about it?
Is this Copperhead Road?
Best about running Fargo. I tell you what, I think one of the best pieces is watching everybody get together. Everyone comes together. We have opportunities to come in and have almost a coaches social. The USA folks come into town, and we're able to come in and not talk so much business necessarily, but just be able to come in and talk, as people, and just getting everybody together has been it's fun doing it right here in Fargo and being able to support something like that.
You've been here how long, Roger?
7, going on 7 years.
Kidding? It's been that long already.
Isn't that crazy?
Give me your top 3 moments as a head coach.
Oh, man. Well, I think Coach Rivera's departure and his hire. There's 2. his hire and his departure, But, I tell you what, as far as the coaching aspects go, one that sticks out is our first All-American and Trent Sprinkle knocking off Matt McDonough in the round of 12 to be an All-American. What a great match and
what's
feeling
he doing
that
now? Sprinkle.
He is in medical school and trying to wrap up medical school to go on to do his doctorates here. So yeah.
Donor in the future, right?
Hey, keep my fingers crossed, man.
So there's one. Give me 2 more.
2 more. I think. Man, you put me on the spot. I tell you what, Steve Monk had a great run his whole career.
What's with this headgear, man?
The Steve Monk headgear. That's a good.
They call the Guardian headgear. Is that what that is?
The Guardian. I don't know what it's called. Coach Rivera told him to wear it one day, and I don't think it's a California thing. He kept winning. So
he wore that back in the days of Wausau West too.
Yeah, he did. He did. It was something that he's always worn. I think maybe it's kind of a Wisconsin. Maybe he's kind of where he started.
He was pretty unique in that.
Yeah.
In that style of headgear. Most memorable dual meet for you?
Most memorable dual meet. I tell you what, wrestling the Gophers right here at the Benson Bunker in front of 2,000, 2,500 standing room only fans, and being able to compete against your alma mater and have a great dual meet and in front of a great atmosphere. It was a great feeling for us as coaches, and being able to sit back and kind of reflect has been a great thing.
Manny wants to jump in here.
Well, no, I just heard Roger talking about California, and I find it funny because I don't think he could point it out on a map. And my proof is...
Because you don't need your hand. Where do you live?
Thank you. One, you don't
use your arm.
Exactly. You don't need the part of your body to figure out where your state is. One.
Well, if you're gifted, you might.
Two, it wasn't until about a year ago I had to tell him he wasn't in Michigan. I had to explain to him that the ND and NDSU stood for North Dakota.
Yeah.
Then you gotta figure it out. I was surprised he knew so much about California, though.
Stuff. Parting shots. I just want to know why the color scheme looks so much like Chris Bono. Oh, he's going off the record on that one. That runner's gear looks sharp. I gotta like it.
It's a good logo.
Now, there's one thing. The Roadrunners is one of the great names in college.
That is.
And for years, they actually had approval to use the Roadrunner from Looney Tunes, and so did I believe it was the Phoenix Roadrunners or the Arizona Roadrunners of the old IHL, I think it was. And now the Arizona Coyotes bought the Tucson, and so they're the Roadrunners too. So that has nothing to do with wrestling. But we were talking about the playlist all week, and guess what? It's time for some Journey.
Don't stop believing.
Just a small town boy. Yeah. Oh, a small town girl. I don't know. See, I don't know this word. I really don't know the words of this song. Is that wrong?
Michigan song. It's a Michigan song.
What's an Oklahoma song? Andy Hamilton's actually on the phone with Royce Alger right now. And I heard, listen to a part of it. I'm guessing Royce is saying, did you listen to my podcast? So, anyway, I was explaining part of that story. I had to re-record a part of it because I forgot about the part where me, Morningstar, and Alger were in a freaking rickshaw in London. So that was a key part of that story.
That was a great podcast.
Oh, my God. We're going to have another one with Brent. Like, I'm going to have 4 parts with Brinzer because that one was to be continued, like Back to the Future style. Anyway, Shane, you've been on here for, I don't know, what do we have, 40 minutes now? Where do you want to take this? Because we're off the rails.
I'll tell you what, I had a lot of fun
Fargo.
today. Was kicking back with Andy Hamilton, and Mike Zadek came over.
And I had him on Inside Virginia Tech Wrestling today.
A couple people that I've always been afraid of at one point were Jay Robinson and Mike Zadek. I remember doing an interview with Mike Zadek when he made a world team years back, and pretty intimidating. See you, Roger. Take care. And
Roger's leaving Manny on the hook here.
Be nice.
He yelled something at his dad. I won't say anything, kind of freaked me out a little bit, so I was always a little bit intimidated by him. And Jay Robinson, and I joke with him now, I'm like, Jay, when I started working on Big Ten Network, I was petrified of you. And he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I would say the same about Mike Zadek. Super, super nice guy. So today, Andy Hamilton, myself, and Mike Zadek talked probably a good 15 minutes on the season.
About
from 02 on ESPN. Talked about that hat that he wore. I mean, remember the hat? Of course, you don't eat mayo because it'll stick to you. Josh Budke, doesn't.
Yeah.
He's got to earn it. You get what you earn. But that ESPN this season was phenomenal.
Well, I had Zadek on my Inside Virginia Tech Wrestling show because he's now full time, and I've had him on the Virginia Tech show twice. Both times have been in Fargo. Because after that duel, we just talked about the duel meet with Roger here, and that guy has such a fond affinity for collecting baseball cards.
Zadig?
No bullshit. He loves his dad. He told story. I first found this out in Denmark in 2009, the World Championships. We're at an ice cream shop in Herning, Denmark. It's me, another guy from USA Wrestling, Bob Zadig, and Bill Zadig. And so we're having ice cream, and then me and Mike just start talking. And I really don't know Mike because I'm not an Iowa guy. I mean, I'm still kind of getting my feet wet internationally. Actually, I wasn't even working for USA Wrestling then. I was filling in for Gary Abbott, who was in grad school. But so we're in there, and he starts talking about baseball cards. We're like, yeah, my dad used to take me to card shows all the time. And Bob, he goes, we would drive 3 freaking hours so he could go collect some baseball cards. I mean, it was like, and then me and Mike just go up in this tangent about like Honus Wagner, the Carl Yastrzemski with the big sideburns, which was made famous in The Simpsons, and just like, boom.
Best baseball card you ever had?
Ooh, and I asked Mike.
Manny wants to chime in on this one too. Hamilton, you're a Yankees fan, baseball fan.
I had a Mattingly.
What was that? Fleer Donruss in about 83, 84?
Donruss 88 was gnarly.
I had the Billy Ripken expletive card.
Oh, nice.
The face one. Yeah. I might have to bleep that one out. That's what was on the bottom of the bat. Pardon me for, you know what, I might not even bleep that. Actually, let me hit a marker on that just in case. Just in case I decide to bleep.
How about you,
out.
JB? Best baseball card.
See, I think most of mine were probably football or basketball cards that were better. I've got a Jeter rookie from Classic, which was like the kind of thing. I have the Shaquille O'Neal DP1 rookie from Skybox that I pulled out of a wax pack. I got a lot of Nolan Ryan cards. I have a lot of Nolan Ryan cards. And definitely not the Donnie Moore 88 Angels.
Donnie Moore.
Yeah, that was
rest in peace.
Dave Henderson, Game 6.
Take it back right now.
Man, I remember watching that game.
No, take it back. I'm not happy with it. I became an Angels fan, and then 86 and 87.
Sad story. Real sad story.
Yeah. You heard Donnie Moore got killed last night? Oh, really? I didn't know he was pitching. My friends tell me that joke. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Donnie Moore. It is a sad thing.
Sad story.
So,
tragedy.
This is why I hate Boston, and I hate Oakland. It's because I freaking hate Dave Henderson.
Hindu. He passed away recently,
yes,
too.
I know that. I'm just going to leave that alone. 86, and then when he played for the A's in 87. Last game of the season against the freaking Angels, okay? 2 years in a row, ripped my heart out. I'm bitter about it.
I'm a Braves fan. You don't know heartache, son. I'm a Braves fan. Chuck Knobloch. Lonnie Smith can't run the bases. Jimmy Williams rounding him around
Bream
third.
The slowest man on the planet.
Man. And then you go to...
Dude,
and then here's Hamilton.
Baseball, Sid Bream, speed was a 1.
And then how about 1996? The Braves beat Jimmy Key and Andy Pettit at Yankee Stadium. They're up 2-0. Come back to Atlanta. They lose 4 straight. Thanks to, in part by Mark Wohlers. Not to mention... Then the Braves, let's see, that was 90.
Well, then they had insult to injury, Geddy Lee saying, oh, Canada.
And then the Yankees sweep the Braves in 99. I went to game 1 in Atlanta.
Oh, that.
Okay, Manny, chime in. Favorite baseball card. You were
Well, you guys just mentioned
chomping
him, and
at
he
the
just
bit.
went into the Hall of Fame, was Ken Griffey Jr. Sweetest swing in baseball.
That was Zadik's answer. That was Zadik's answer. He said it was.
You probably saw him with what?
Deck, card number
San
1.
Bernardino, right? Is that where he played? Was in the minors before he came up?
Yeah, probably. I'm not sure.
I think San Bernardino.
And it was the ESPN Friday night game, second game of the doubleheader, where Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. went back-to-back against the freaking Angels.
Sweetest swing in baseball.
And Manny's a Dodgers fan, so he can go sit and spin for all I care.
Get the news on Kershaw?
Show's going off the rails. I just want Lincecum to have somewhat of a decent season.
Timmy Lincecum.
But guess what? At least I'm not a Twins fan.
Oh, gosh. Who's a Twins fan?
My wife. Guess what? I could get the cheapest tickets in baseball right now at Target Field.
I didn't realize they still had a team.
No, they were contracted. Oh, wait, that was Bud's. No. We're going to see. Mike, it's going to take 61 more wins to win this thing.
Oh, my goodness.
Every time we win, we peel a section. All right, we're not talking about wrestling anymore. We're holding on loosely.
You know what? Here's the
38
point, though.
special.
You asked me, I brought up Zadig before. This podcast is why I love this place, because it's the people here.
Exactly.
I mean, walking around, Zach Tonelli, saw him today. Congratulations to Zach. new head coach at Columbia. I see you a couple times a year. I see Hamilton a couple times a year. Richard a couple times. I don't see you people. I always tell my girlfriend, I said, my best friends, I don't see you guys often. My best friends are in wrestling. Pete Isaias, great to see him. Derek Sikora, Tony Black. We go golfing once a year over at Edgewood. So it's definitely what makes Fargo the best. Is the wrestling's great, but being able to hang out with wrestling buddies.
We get 8 days of this. I mean, it was a little shorter for me because I just had a baby, or my wife actually had a baby. Wow, I kind of feel like a dick right now.
Speaking of babies, congratulations to Matt McDonough. Him and his wife, a little girl, yesterday.
Yeah, remember when Matt McDonough had a fake Twitter account that wasn't actually run by him? Andy, who snuffed that out? Did you snuff that one out? Somebody snuffed that one out.
You got a much better memory than me. I don't remember this stuff, but
it was a fake Matt McDonough account.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember this now.
I remember the fake Metcalf account.
I think, the Metcalf one was so fake. It
was so open. It was like, today for lunch, I ate a part of a bison leg or something like, raw meat. It's what's for dinner, stuff like that. But back to what Shane was saying, we had 8 days of this, and it's like, NCAAs, everybody's so geared up. Like Manny and Roger would be all busy, and you might see some people. You might see a coach when their two kids go 0-2 and they're down on their luck. Who knows at what pub? But you only get 3 days of that. Here, you get a whole week, sometimes even more, to sit back, you talk, you revisit. I mean, I've always said that my career, a lot of it has to do with the relationships that were at that crappy bar across the street that I love so much. I mean, seriously, I beat Kendall Cross in foosball there. I beat Greg Jones in darts there. Manny kicked my ass in foosball 2 years ago. I've actually got darts in my bag just in case somebody wants to go toe-to-toe with the champ. But this town...
Are you one of those guys that carries that dart case around?
Only if I need to. Only if I need to. Hey, Lancaster City League dart champions, okay? The Brendy's Dart Sharks, 2007 and 8. Yeah, I have a dart trophy in my man cave. But anyway, but I was saying, it's like we get to see Manny a couple times, more than just at a tournament. You get to see the Greco guys come in. Then you get the freestyle guys. It's like at the midweek you get a change. You get, all right, bye Nate Angle. Hello, Carl Fraunhofer. I mean, it's like just there's a different route. I mean, here come Lee Pritz and the freestyle. Sammy Henson was here today. We were joking about his trip to Armenia one time. Coleman Scott was here. I mean, you've got the freestyle coaches. Boom. This is the week just takes a turn, but you get to see everybody in wrestling. This is the greatest town in the world for 8 days in July.
I'm a little salty I didn't get to put my baseball card in, though.
Oh, I'm sorry, Richard.
Come on,
we got to
guys.
get back to you on the baseball cards.
Well, I got 2 autographed rookies. Barry Larkin, Barry Larkin, my favorite player.
Barry Larkin, I
Number 11,
one
right?
time. He was very nice to me.
Number
very
11,
nice.
Cincinnati Reds.
Yep.
And I have a Barry Bonds rookie card, too.
Yeah, but that card's like really big right now.
Well, it's funny, he looked a lot smaller, or not younger. He looked younger.
Yeah, Bobby Bonilla's
that was with
that
the
guy
Pirates.
was small back in the day.
It was with the
And
Pirates.
Bobby's still collecting, $5 million every June 1 or something like that? Still getting paid.
I don't know. Whose show was I listening to that he big time? Some Barry Bonds big time. Somebody that wanted an autograph. I don't know if it was Chael's show or somebody was on a podcast and was saying that he wanted to meet Barry Bonds and they big timed him. This is like a major leaguer. Like he got big time. Anyway,
hitting coach with the Marlins right now.
Yeah.
Bonds was
Andy Hamilton. He's
phenomenal.
a giant baseball fan. We haven't asked you this baseball card question.
He started with Mattingly.
Oh, you Mattingly. Okay. All right.
Can we get another
Donnie
round?
Baseball. Donnie Baseball.
Go ahead.
Any Billy Martin stories? No, and Andy's why are you such a huge baseball fan?
That was my sport growing up.
I mean, obviously, but
that the sport that my high school was had tradition in, and My high school coach was Charlie Stumpf, who caught Mike Boddicker in high school.
Mike Boddicker of the Orioles, right?
Norway, Iowa. Little tiny town. And
I have no idea who the hell that is.
Part of that 83 Orioles team that won it?
Yep. And Norway, Iowa, little tiny town by Cedar Rapids that won 20 state titles. They had a movie called The Last Season after it. And,
I saw that.
And Charlie Stumpf was...
Didn't that have the kid from the Goonies in it?
I can't remember who all was in it, but Charlie Stumpf was the main reason I fell in love with baseball. He developed a powerhouse at our high school and moved on to Iowa City West, where he's been in the mix for state titles, for about 5 straight years here. And he's the reason I fell in love with the game, and owe a lot to him.
It's the greatest game there is. I've always said wrestling is the best sport. Baseball's the best game.
You know what I miss about baseball? And baseball's where I got my start in announcing.
Same here.
1994, freshman year in high school, I announced high school baseball. And, as one of the writers from my hometown paper was, a local weekly writer at the time, and we were texting back and forth today because he was sending me questions about the Olympics. And I think about how anally retentive I was when it came to doing the stats and doing the scorebook. How much of an art form is the scorebook?
Is the scorebook?
Doing the scorebook. That is an art form. That in the days of the digital automated scorebook, I used to go to every game and I'd bring my scoremaster. This was the best scorebook. I would bring my own scorebook to baseball games and just intricately do it. It's a lost art form.
Hey, Jason, before I forget, we should bring up Tashia Allo, winning her 6th Fargo title.
6 titles. Best age group women's wrestler ever. I mean, she's only the 3rd 4-time junior women's champ. Granted, the cadets have only been around since 2011, so...
And she was what? She won the U.S. Open, right?
She won the U.S. Open.
She won the Worlds 2 years ago. She won the Cadet Worlds and then flew back to win juniors in Fargo.
Yeah, and she's got a bum shoulder right now. She's going to get surgery, and doing that interview with her after she won that junior women's title, she's not sure if she's going to go to college. Keeping that option open, might get...
honestly, she is so far ahead. Like Haley Augello, when she was wrestling King, I don't think she gave up a point in college.
She's teched or pinned everyone she's wrestled.
Teched or pinned everyone she's wrestled.
For the first 2 years, though. She's still got 2 years left.
I mean, it would just be it'd be like Cale Sanderson already being really good.
Oh, it was like Kyle Snyder if he would have went back to high school. I mean, it's...
Yeah, that's probably a better example, but Tashia would never be touched in college. I mean... She is the next big thing in women's wrestling. I'm actually obviously that injury I think nagged her at the Olympic trials, because I think had she been 100%, she could have been in a position to win the weight class and qualify the weight, but I guess we'll never know. The girl is straight.
Well, remember, she beat the girl who won it, Kelsey Campbell, in the finals of the U.S. Open, 8-1. Wasn't close. I mean, she's that good.
Yeah,
she's that good.
Jordan Burroughs has the greatest, I think the greatest quote, one of the greatest quotes. I got so much respect for him. I remember an interview with him after he had gotten beat by Sargouche, and I don't remember who asked the question. He was in the mix zone.
Clean, by the way.
And somebody...
doesn't matter. He's not making the team.
Somebody brought up the point that Burroughs was hurt, and he stops him. Jordan stops him, mid-question, and says, no. And here's and I'll never forget him saying this. Being healthy is part of being great. It is what it is. It's the circumstances of the day. It's that simple. And that's, I think, there's a lot of reasons you could point to the reasons of Jordan Burroughs' greatness, but those elite athletes have it in their head, and it's not talk. I mean, it's excuse. You got results and excuses. You can't have both of them, one or the other. Bottom line. I love that. Being healthy is part of being great. It is what it is.
Well, we're all going to go pee in cups and hope we don't get popped for Rio. For Richard Immel, Andy
Been a lot of
Hamilton,
fun, JB.
Shane Sparks. Let's see who else we have there. Nick Simmons, Manny Rivera, Roger Kish, Paul Gilbert,
Jason Mester.
Yeah,
Nick Simmons. They mentioned Nick.
Mester did not want to be on this show. He pulled Paul Gilbert over here as soon as he could. Oh, it was great. But for Steve Sachs and the crew here at Hurtin' Horns, this has been a really fun episode of the Short Time Wrestling Podcast.
What a way to go out with the music. Huh?
I don't want to lose your love tonight. Remember, you've always got time.
Bar continues to raise.
For Short Time.
Stay classy.
This show is part of the Matt Talk Podcast Network. For more wrestling podcasts, head over to MattTalkOnline.com.